This is going to be completely unedited, but my producer name is Doc Ray. Let's go back to the beginning. My usual name was DJ Ray. Now I am Doc Ray. DOC_/RAY. The whole point of this video is a little update on my music channel. Hate to say this, but I basically ran out of ideas. I'm at a very huge writer's block. I've had this habit where I make a bunch of projects, and they're usually snippets of something that I think sounds good, and then I just completely lose my sense of perspective on the entire thing. Like, I'll make something that sounds really good, and then I just won't work on it again. And this has been a habit for years. Writer's block is something that I struggle with. I believe I've struggled with this for years now. There are a couple songs that I do enjoy that I did put out on my music channel, and for some reason I just can't get any other ideas out there. I don't know what's wrong. Could be life hitting. Could be passion just fizzling out. But I'm making this video to see if you guys have any advice on what I should do to bring my spark back up. Now, why my spark fizzled out, I'll start from the beginning. Back in 2014/2015-ish, I was making music a lot. I was making music with my friends, I was making collabs with people, and I was basically working to make tracks that I think everyone would listen to. I get a little bit over my head at one point. I decided to, well, I didn't really decide, but life just kind of hit to the point where I couldn't really focus on what I want to put out. Let's get back from the beginning. Back in 2010, maybe around 2009, 2010-ish, I basically downloaded a free trial on FL Studio. I did try a bunch of other DAWs before then. Point of being, my father was interested in making music. He used to use a Ball Spiel 532. If anyone that's vintage knows what that is, that's basically a 4-track system for recording digital audio, but not on a computer. He would do that for a while. He liked to make rock and roll and some controversial screamo or something like that. I don't know what he was doing. He was just having fun with it. But I felt that spark from him, and I was like, you know what? I want to make music too. So one day I decided to go on my I decided to go on YouTube and search up videos, because I always watch sketch comedies and popular YouTubers, some unpopular YouTubers, and that back then YouTube was really, really huge back then. I stumbled upon this one channel that was doing sketches, and basically he had background music that he made himself, and I was like, oh, I wonder what program he's using. And then I realized it's FL Studio. I'm like, okay, FL Studio. I searched it up. I'm looking at the price. I'm like, oh man, I cannot afford that. Cannot afford the prices for that, but I decided to download the free trial anyways. And that's when I was really getting interested in making electronic music. I've made Now I think about it. Now that I made music way back then when I was a kid. I go back to it. It's just not how music should be. It was unedited. It was unmixed. It was unmastered and stuff like that. But in the kid of me, I was so excited to make music that I wanted to do this a lot more. So I kept on working and working and working and making music, making music, making music. Never really decided to put that out there because I was a little scared that nothing was really gonna go through. But I still decided to make music for my own enjoyment. It was a hobby of mine. Still is, but now it's kind of fizzling out. I don't know what's wrong. Honestly, it could just be life. Anyways, fast forward over to, let's say, high school. There's this high school I went to. Not gonna say the name, but I was in the video and audio elective, and there was even this really. It was one of those cool electives where you can actually be on national radio, which was really cool. Um, there was history of like this first ever high school radio broadcasting station approved by the FCC and all that, so that was pretty cool. I initially thought of a DJ name, so I was like DJ Ray, because my middle name is Ray. Those that want to know what DJ Ray stand for, it's just DJ as, digital junkie, I guess what they call it, and Ray being my middle name. I went with that for a while, and I started putting my producer name out there as DJ Ray. I've been making lots of music. Like I've listened to quite a bit of stuff on the radio, and I started to make a lot of tracks, and I was having a lot of fun. I was having a lot of fun showing off my music to my friends and my classmates, and they were all like, "Oh, you're really good. Like you should definitely pursue it." And I'm like, "Yeah, definitely gonna pursue it." Fast forward outside of high school, I basically decided to make more music, even though it was completely like unedited and stuff like that. It wasn't mastered and stuff like that. I decided to branch out to some friends from high school, and there was one particular friend. I'm not gonna say the name again because we don't want to dox people. He was like, your audio music is good, but you gotta learn how to mix. I'm like, you know what, you're probably right. So I was on YouTube searching how to mix. Did a lot of YouTube, watched a lot of YouTube tutorials, and I decided to learn from it. Started to learn how to mix and how to master, and just like my spark was back. So I was like, okay, let's continue making music and videos, like, because I was making videos and music at the same time. I basically decided to make more music, even though life wasn't really the best at that moment. Decided to make music, and then I introduced my friends to the stuff I'm making. And they're like, "Oh, you know what? We should collab. We should make hip hop." That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to make hip hop. So this is when the spark was like way up high. I was making like instrumental after instrumental after instrumental just for people to get on tracks on, and it was a lot of fun. It was really a lot of fun. Teamed up with some not coworkers. Teamed up with some classmates from high school, maybe a year older than me, but we decided to make rap music, and that's when I had like a very like generic setup. I basically had like a Guitar Hero microphone and still like that free DAW thing, but I just didn't know how to like record on the microphone on the program itself. So we used Audacity and just recorded the vocals, and then we just upload the vocals to the track and had to sync it. It was a lot of crazy stuff. And you know what? That actually took off, and the spark was flying high. But I think what really fizzled out my spark was they didn't want to do my instrumentals anymore. They wanted to do other instrumentals, like free instrumentals that you download on YouTube to MP3 at that time when it was legal. And, I was like, yeah, but I make these tracks and they're so good. And they're like, yeah, but this one has more feeling. And I was like, you know what, whatever. I was doing this all for free. I didn't want to get paid for any of that. I just wanted to, make tracks for free. It was a hobby of mine. Fast forward a little bit more, they kept on using this one YouTuber's instrumentals, and they just wanted to keep on making tracks with that, keep on making tracks with that, keep on making tracks with that. Eventually, most of my instrumentals were just collecting dust. I got like a bunch of instrumentals that created a lot, and for some reason, my classmates didn't want to collab with my instrumentals. So I was like, okay, I'm still like recording and having fun, getting experience. So I was like, you know what, it's fine. And then when they're not around, I'm just making tracks for myself. Like, I'm really into trance music. I'm really into hip hop tracks and stuff like that. So I've done quite a few things. Sometimes I upload on SoundCloud. Sometimes I upload it on the channel itself, and it was a lot of fun. But I was kind of disappointed that they did not want to use my instrumentals for that, saying they didn't want to use my instrumentals. So I was like, yeah, whatever. I was like, at the time, so I was like, oh, I probably need to improve more. So I've been working and improving, learning how to do automation clips, learning how to do these certain mix and masterings, and then I realized that I was basically in this rut where I was like, okay, just download. Think of it now, in 2023, that was probably what every beginner producer did if they wanted to make tracks and stuff like that. So I was like, whatever. Eventually it got to the point where my friends like really, really enjoyed the way I mixed and mastered my tracks with the instrumentals, with the vocals put in, everything like that. I decided to buy parts. I think it was the Fruity edition of FL Studio, so I decided to buy the Fruity edition. Back then, this was like 2013. No, not 2013. 2014, 2015. And alright, so download that. I was like, hey guys, like I got this and this and this. Like we can start making more tracks without any hassle. I was like, okay, good. So we show up. So they show up. We make tracks, and we have a good time. Yeah, we have a good time, and then they started to like branch out even more to some clients that so it was like they were telling me like, oh yeah, he's got a studio, like you can make tracks and stuff like that. I was like, sure, why not? I wanted to branch out a little bit more. Met a lot of good people, a lot of talented people, mostly being rappers. Mostly being rappers, but there was that couple occasional EDM inspired artists that wanted to collab. So I was like, alright, cool. Most of my stuff was rap. Very few was EDM. And then we get to the point in 2015. 2015, that was probably the year I discovered Animals by Martin Garrix. I was like, wow, what is this like? Because I was basically new to this. I was like, wow, what is this like type of genre? Like, I want to really like try to implement that. That was the genre of big room house. I was like, this is really cool. So I started to like download like drum packs and samples and stuff like that, and buy a couple of VSTs here and there. And then I realized that, well, point being, this is the time where I had the laptop and stuff like that. I didn't have the setup I have now. I had the laptop, and we were all having a good time, and I was making EDM tracks, and I was showing my friends, like, oh, there's, and then my friends were like, oh, there's this couple that, well, not say couple, there's this couple other friends that are really interested in doing EDM. So I was like, you know what, fine, let's go. So that's when we launched Racewag, which was me and this one guy, and we were just making a collab like EDM big room house tracks, kind of like if you think of the chain smokers, that was basically what the collab was. You know, a guy and another guy were all having fun, making music. There's even times he performed as a local bar, and it was a lot of fun. Fast forward into that. Oh, actually, let me run it back. When we were doing the rap stuff, we wanted my friends basically told me like, "Oh, you should build a vocal booth." So I was like, "All right, yeah, let's build a vocal booth." We went to Home Depot. Ironic, I work there now, and got some materials and made like a makeshift photo booth. And that was quite a large investment back in the day, but it was absolutely wonderful. When you're making collabs and stuff like that, and then as soon as the word came out that I got a vocal booth, then I branched out to even more people. People from the town, people from abroad, and I was really, really boosting my passion, and I was like super excited. I'm like, oh yeah, let's do this. Let's make some tracks here and there. Not once in my mind did I thought I could like basically charge people for making music. Again, it was more of a hobby of mine, so I just decided to, I want to master my craft, basically. It got very serious when I decided that I want to study in audio engineering at a local, well, not local, but like a couple towns down, art college. Probably the biggest mistake of my life. Because college is expensive. I didn't have all the funds. I did get I forgot what they call it, financial aid from the government. Got hooked up with this equipment and stuff like that, and I was going to college. But then the thing is about the financial aid that I was in, basically I had documents that was always so fucked up because I didn't do it the first time right. So there was times where like I finished a semester, and then the second semester they just basically jumble up my whole schedule because it's like first come first serve. You gotta do it in advance. But I'm not able to do that because they didn't get the documents right. That is the downfall of my art college thing. They got to the point where like I had to do like early morning classes where I can't even get to the bus because the buses don't run that late or that early. The buses don't run that early. That was a big blow in my music passion because I'm not able to like really fully study for it because they messed up the scheduling and I'm not able to fix it, and it was just all like a big downfall. Another downfall, I don't mention this, but my one day I was living with another family relative, and he wasn't particularly fond of music that I was making with friends, even though it wasn't my decision. It was more like their decision. They wanted to make music. I wanted to help them out. I wanted to be a good person. One day I come home from a very long day of college. I think it was like one of the exams or something like that too. I don't remember. I come home to my room. The vocal booth is basically destroyed. All the hard sweat, tears, and dedication I had to producing music basically just shattered. That's probably one of the reasons why I just lost my spark. I had a lot of people write things on the walls, like autographs and sayings and stuff like that, because I had like, the way I did the vocal booth, I basically had like a foam board that people could just write on with Sharpie, just to put their little self in there, just to be more inspiring for people in the show. They're like, oh, you collab with his, oh, you collab with her? It's like stuff like that. That was more passionate to me than the college or anything else. And that's basically gone. It was so devastating. I think ever since that moment, I have just not been super passionate about making music. even the times where I've been to a rave, like I've been to like a really cool rave with my close friend, and a lot of his friends. We all had a great time, but they were always listening to dubstep, and at one point I did try to experiment with dubstep, and dubstep is hard, guys. Dubstep is a very difficult genre to master, and that's just not my forte. Hip hop is changed now. Now there's a lot of like different elements and stuff like that. That's not my forte either. I still listen to EDM. I still listen to trance and house like that. But for some odd reason, I cannot think of finished tracks. It could be because of the stuff that happened a long time ago. I just lost my spark, and I'm trying to figure out how to get it back. I thought, oh, if I upgrade my equipment, then the sparks would fly. I have an M Audio key station. I have, or no, I have an M Audio. Yeah, I have an M Audio key station. I have Adam Audio T7V studio monitors. I got the foam, and I got the speaker stands, and I got the keyboard, and I got this and that. I got a professional mic and all this crap. Professional headset. So I'm basically geared to make tracks left and right, but for some reason my mind does not want to think of music. I don't know what is wrong with me. Is it life just hit me? Is it the burden that I still have on my shoulders? Or is it like something more, or there's something super common that every producer of music goes through? I don't know. I do ask you for tips on how I can get out of this rut and get back into the spark of passion of music. Because I really have like no idea. I always post music here and there, but I don't post it frequently because most of my stuff that I put frequently is something that I absolutely approve of and I absolutely love. Yeah, it's just weird. It's just weird how I cannot get my music passion back. I got into other passions. I got into collecting scotches and whiskey, and recently got into like enjoying cigars, and every now and then trying to make more videos, because back then the videos was my total passion. And now I'm just kind of like in a rut where I just don't know what I want to do. Point being, I do work full time, so a lot of my time is occupied making money, besides making music. Another part of me is having a lot of free time after work, but I have no spark to make music. And I try and I try and I try, like I make something, I was like, oh, this is good, I'll save it for later. I try again, make this good music, save it for later. Sometimes I'll go back to my projects and I'll listen to it and I'm like, oh, this is really good, but I'm just kind of lost of how do I want this from beginning, middle to end. I got the middle part, sometimes I get the beginning part, but I don't know how to finish. Because my mind just does not want to cooperate with my creative ability that I've developed over the years. Leave it down in the comments if you think, if you have any tips for me, if you have any inspiration, any type of like way where I can get out of this out of this writer's block, because I'm trying so hard to like make music, and it's like all of this stuff that happened in the past has basically just dwindled my entire spark of making music, and it sucks. It really does suck because I love to make music, but I just can't get anything done. Let me know what you guys think. It's my whole backstory on from the beginning to where I am now. I could always learn to improve. I could do that. I could probably watch more tutorials on how to do this and that, and maybe that will spark my thing. I'm really not sure. I'm gifted with the musician spark. No, I'm gifted with the. I can't even speak right now because I'm just trying to think. I'm gifted with my musical ability and talent, but I just can't seem to put it on the playlist. I cannot seem to put it on a project. So I ask you guys some help. Give me some tips or tricks and down in the comments, and I'll see what I can do. I'm gonna try, but writer's block is crazy, guys. Writer's block is real. I don't know what else to say, but yeah, I'm in a writer's block. Don't know what to do. Even though I say I know what I want to do, I just can't seem to get the motivation to do it. The past has haunted me, but I'm trying to get back to things. Let me know if you have any tips in the comments. Alright, I'm gonna end this video. Take care.